Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll take that. I spent half my life at the BBC reading into those things, and I hate them. So if I could throw it away, it'd be a lot better. But nevertheless, when I was growing up in Pembroke Dock, God's own country, I only ever had two aims in my life. One, to be a writer. Two, to play rugby for Wales. Haven't quite made playing rugby for Wales yet, but after Saturday, I'm waiting for the call, and Warren Gatland might well be on the phone even now as I'm here, but we'll wait and see. But that man, Dylan Thomas, was an inspiration to me. And I can remember when I was a young boy, I keep telling people, we had no electricity in our house until I was 7 years old. And that's one of the reasons I think I became interested in reading in words, because I read by gas lamp. And the guttering gas lamp that cast shadows across the room, and what the hell was out there you didn't know, but your imagination ran riot, and that's really part about being a writer, I think. Dylan Thomas, I can remember at the age of 7 being allowed to stay up late to listen to the first broadcast of Under Milk Wood, January 1954. By then Dylan had died, of course, and I remember I didn't understand 3/4 of what I heard, but the rhythms, the cadences, the way the words are put together, they intrigued me. And that's what Dylan, that's what his life was the same. When he was a babby, when he was in his cradle, his dad, DJ, read him Shakespeare and the King James Bible and Chaucer and various other things. And Dylan had no idea what was being said, but the rhythms and the cadences of it all caught his imagination. So Dylan has always been an interest of mine. And when the opportunity came to write this, it was either write a factual biography or do something a little bit imaginative. And so I wrote this novel. And as you heard, the novel is really starts with Dylan's last days in his hospital bed in New York, flashes back to Dylan's childhood, because the only two things he was interested in writing about in his whole life were himself and his life in Swansea. And they are magical. And so thinking back is what, to me, what the book is all about. The quick reads, I think it's a brilliant scheme. It's wonderful, and congratulations for that. Long may it last, because we need to encourage people to read more, to enjoy books. Forget things like Kindles. You can't do this to a Kindle. Because there's nothing quite like the smell of a new book, is there? But anyway, I've pattered on a lot. Let me just read you 2 pages of this book to give you an idea of what it's... And it's the opening 2 pages. The room is coldly white, like hospital rooms the world over. White walls, white bed, white sheets. Even the nurses are dressed in white, in stiff, starched uniforms that creak when they walk or bend over the figure in the bed. Like giant seagulls, they hover and swoop at the faintest sound. Above the headboard of the bed, half hidden by the oxygen tent, is a white nameplate. Dylan Maralice Thomas, admitted 11/5/1953, written the American way, with the month before the day. And not that anybody takes much notice. Such small details hardly matter to those who sit and wait. He doesn't move, the figure in the bed, just lies there like a rock on the seashore. He breathes slowly, noisily through his nose. The tubes and wires that snake away from his body to the side of the bed and the oxygen tent make him seem like some science fiction robot. Visitors have come and gone all day, but apart from the nurse and the patient, at the moment there's just one person in the room. He's a bearded man of medium height. He waits and he watches, staring around the room as if he is waiting for somebody to jump out and attack him. Eventually he sighs. The nurse glances across at him. "It is sad, isn't it?" she says. "A writer like him, a man of such wonderful words. And now there are no words at all." The bearded man nods. "I guess so," he says, his Midwest accent surprisingly strong. "But it'll come to all of us sooner or later. The one guarantee we've got in life is that we'll all leave it sometime." The nurse stares at him, trying to work out if he is serious or trying to be funny with her. Finally, she decides that his words are genuine. "Are you a poet too, Mr. Berryman?" The man smiles, embarrassed but happy to be included. "A little poet, not like him." He points to the patient, and then they lapse into silence again. Only the heavy breathing of the man in the bed breaks the quiet of the hospital room. Berryman sighs again and yawns. He tries to hide the yawn behind his hand. Waiting for someone to die, even if he is a great poet, is tiring. I'm going outside for a smoke, he says. That's okay, isn't it? The nurse nods. That's fine, Mr. Berryman. He doesn't know if you're sitting there or not. He can't see or hear anything. Of course I can bloody hear. I'm not dead. Not yet. At least. I've just gone back. Retreated, you could say, to somewhere safe. Somewhere nobody can hurt me. Nothing unusual in that. I've done it all my life. First sign of a cold or a sniffle, bed, with Mam feeding me milky bread and sugar. Catlin, my cat, used to do that too. Feed me, comfort me. But that was when she still loved me. And you want to know the rest? Buy the book. Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations.